The Braves take Game 1 of the 2025 Cape League Championship. Welcome into Postgame Tomahawk Talk. I'm Ariel Pinsky, joined by Adam Gawkin and Devin Jarvis. The Braves beat the YD Red Sox 5-3, and the pitching was really there tonight. We only used two arms, which is great in the playoffs.
Yeah, you really can't understate just how important it was to only have to throw two pitchers, especially after last night when you get into a 12-inning game and have to throw six arms. Now you have a pretty much rested bullpen going into the final two, potentially just one game of the series if Bourne can close it out tomorrow. But you just cannot say enough about Matthew Shorey and Nate Whysong, the ability to not allow any crooked numbers by this YD offense. Whenever anything got kind of shaky, they just shut things down right away and locked it down. They just never really lost their control. No walks from Shorey. Whysong only a few. Just an unbelievable pitching performance today from this staff, and one that puts them one win away from the championship.
Well, we've talked about it all season, how we want to see complete games from this Braves team, and the offense was also great tonight.
Yeah, you need to have the offense perform. I think that was going to be the big deciding factor for the Braves in this game is can the offense get started early against the Cape League Pitcher of the Year and Tyler Pitzer, and it did. They looked great. They scored those 5 runs, made it really difficult for YD, especially when the defense shows up. In your pitchers in Matt Shorey and Nate Whysong, the offense did its job, and that's really going to be the X factor in these next two games as it has been in the 2 rounds before this. Can the offense show up? If it does, Bourne wins games. If it doesn't, they lose.
Yeah, you mentioned it a little bit. The offense has been streaky this summer. We don't want to see that tomorrow. We want to close it out.
Yeah, you always want to try and close it out in 2 if you can. Bourne's already gotten into 2 3-game series this playoffs. They've won both of them, but you never want to have to come back to Dorn Park and play that Game 3. You want to get it done tomorrow and not have to worry about any chance of YD coming back and winning it. Tomorrow you can play loose. You can play free. You have no chance of your season ending. YD, on the other hand, needs a win to keep their season going. Go out and attack. This offense needs to keep doing what it's been doing. Folger Boaz, we're expecting to get the start. He's been a reliable arm throughout the entire season to get 4 or 5 innings. So, looking for a good performance from him if he does get the start. And, Bourne hoping to hopefully hoist the title tomorrow.
Well, Game 2 will be tomorrow at Red Wilson Field on the road for a 4 p.m. pitch. Continuing with pregame coverage, I'm now joined by Lyle Allenstein. Lyle, tonight Gavin Kelly, after hitting the walk-off last night, he stole home tonight. That is not a thing we see every day in baseball.
Yeah, quite an impressive lead he had on third base, left-handed pitcher, was staring Cade Lewis down at first base, and then Gavin just had a great jump, stole home. It was quite an impressive play. You just talked about that walk-off, but he's been dialed in this last portion of the season. He came in from West Virginia off that loss in the regionals, took a week off, but ever since he got here, he's been one of the better players. He's been in that leadoff spot. He's been all throughout the lineup. He's played the outfield. He's played the infield. He's catching. He's really been doing it all for this team. He's been a spark plug during this playoffs, and he showed it again tonight.
Well, throughout the playoffs, we've really talked about this team having to play from behind, the grit, the resiliency they've had. But tonight, they mainly had the lead the entire time.
Yeah, they did fall behind 1-0 in the second, but then they came right back with a run in there at Licks in the second to tie it back up at 1-1, and then a 4-run fourth inning, get pushed this lead to 5-1. YD tacked on 2, made it 5-3, but they held this lead. It was some really solid pitching from Matt Shorey and Nate Whysong tonight. Combining for the whole game. Those guys have been here for this whole summer, have been really good, to the better arms. And, you talk about playing complete baseball. Fielding was great tonight, and having these comebacks is great. It shows this resiliency, this grit from this team. You've seen it throughout this whole playoffs, but, being able to hold a lead is impressive just as well.
Well, Game 2 of the 2025 Cape League Championship Series is tomorrow at Red Wilson Field for a 4 p.m. pitch. Thanks, guys. I'm joined by Nate Whysong. Nate, 4 innings tonight, 2 hits, 5 strikeouts. This is your second time coming out of the pen and closing it out for the team in playoffs. How does that feel?
It feels amazing, I didn't have my best stuff tonight, but, I got through it.
This was your first time pitching at home in a playoff setting. The crowd was loud. How does that energy help you on the mound?
Oh, it was awesome hearing them get loud towards the end of the game, sent some energy through my body, it felt amazing. Gave me some extra drive to keep going.
You've been here the whole summer. You guys are 1 game away from winning it all. How cool is that?
It's awesome, It's been a long ride, but I'm glad we're here and can't wait to finish it.
Thanks, Nate.
Don't move, Nate.
You're welcome.